Kevin and Rachel. And we're pretty sure you guys have gotten a little bit too comfortable in the last 10 minutes, so we're going to start right out with the pop quiz. And the question for you is, how many vaccinations do you think a child needs by the time that they turn 18 in order to stay enrolled in school?
5.
5? 10? 12? All right, try closer to 20.
Yeah, 17.
And the reason that we know this is because we've actually been spending a tremendous amount of time with the health department of Kansas City, Missouri, working very closely with them, and specifically their immunization clinic. And their immunization clinic told us that they have two major problems as a city. One is making sure that all of these children within the city get the vaccinations they need on time so that they don't get held back from school and there's a minimum level of immunizations across the city. But the other problem that they have is that when people do remember to get their vaccinations and they do come into the public health department, they all do it at the same time. They do it right before school in July and August. And so if you're a public health department and you're giving 25 to 30,000 vaccinations a year, you're looking at a huge spike of that happening, about 300% spike in July and August alone. So they want to see if we can help them even that out. So we'll be honest, when we first heard about this project, none of us have health backgrounds. We all come from the world of technology in one way or another. And it felt a lot like David versus Goliath. We heard the message from Code for America, which was, be user-centered, build really fast, try things out. And then we encountered the world of healthcare, and things looked a little bit different.
So I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the three main things that we're kind of most nervous about in the beginning. The first one is HIPAA. So for those of you who don't know HIPAA is a federal law that allows you to have protected health information. So it basically allows you to ensure that your health data will not end up on the front page of the New York Times or something like that. It's a wonderful law. Unfortunately for developers and technical teams, it's very, very difficult to work with. And this is a photo of me going through some of the HIPAA compliance that I had to deep dive into. But basically, HIPAA is a really important thing, and it's something that we want to make sure that we don't get wrong. So in order to ensure that we can protect our team and the health department from pretty large fines, to be honest, we had to dive into HIPAA and go a little bit slow in the beginning. The next thing, healthcare interoperability. So this is a design standard that was first created in 1989. It is now currently still used by over 90% of electronic health records, or EHRs. And it's something that we had to learn, and we're still trying to learn. So this is something that's definitely holding the industry back a little. And lastly, we decided that we were going to map out the different organizations within Kansas City that are serving the same population, the underinsured, uninsured, those on Medicaid. And these are all organizations that are serving the same population as the Kansas City, Missouri Health Department. As you can see, most of them have different software companies. They use different EHRs, and almost none of them talk to each other. So this was another thing that we had to struggle with, and something that we're trying to overcome. So we decided to come up with three big main tenets of our team. We were deciding, we're just going to move fast. We're going to be safe, but we're going to move fast. We're going to be real with ourselves, and we're going to try not to get sued.
But lest you be a little bit nervous for our team, this is a story of how David beats Goliath. And so we're going to tell you about two products that we've been working on specifically for the Kansas City Health Department over the past couple of months. The first one is reminder text messages. What happened when we got on the ground in Kansas City was that a lot of families told us they wanted to get vaccinations on time, but when they didn't actually have a regular pediatrician that their child was visiting, it was impossible to remember when they needed a vaccine. And so the health department was really interested in doing some reminders, specifically through text messages. So when we first started out, we knew what we wanted to say in the messages behaviorally. We wanted to say something a little bit like, Sarah is due for her hepatitis B shot. Please come in and get it before August 15th, soon, to avoid the rush. And then we read up and we consulted some lawyers and we thought about HIPAA. And we very quickly realized that text messaging is not a secure platform, so without actually opting in, we couldn't send any specific patient data over a text message. So we had to craft text messages that looked a little bit different, and it ended up reading, "Kindergartners need shots before the start of school." Even though it was a little bit stripped down, what we found when we did a pilot of this was that over 30% of the people involved ended up engaging with that text message. That meant that we were onto something. And so for our work moving forward, we actually have several different types of text campaigns that are actually figuring out who is due using the health department's data, and then actually reaching out to those people and having some partnerships with local organizations while we're at it.
The second product that we've been working on is a vaccine record interpreter called Record Check.
Louder.
Alright. So we spent a lot of time kind of learning the workflow of the staff of the health department. Where are the bottlenecks, the inefficiencies? Where are places that we can use technology to help them do their jobs more efficiently? And one thing that came up again and again was the issue of triage. During the busy summer months, parents come in and they don't know if they need a vaccine or if they only need their vaccine records. They get a call or letter from their school saying, bring in proof that your child isn't vaccinated before they can enroll. And they don't know if they need shots or if they just need the record. And unfortunately, the frontline staff in this case, the registration and intake clerks, can't help them with this. As we've discussed, the vaccine records are pretty complex. The requirements are hard to understand. Currently, they need a trained nurse to interpret these records. So we wanted to look into the issue a little further and see how we could use technology to help with this. And it turns out there's a lot of math involved in interpreting the records. The nurse has to calculate the age of the patient, they have to calculate how old they were when they got each shot, they have to calculate the amount of time that's elapsed between each shot, and of course they have to memorize all the requirements. And all the amount of time that a nurse spends calculating and memorizing is time that the nurse can't spend counseling the patient or answering their questions or actually giving shots. But it turns out that computers are really great at math, and computers are really great at memorizing long lists of complicated rules. So we decided we wanted to build a tool that would allow non-specialized staff to quickly look at a patient's record and determine if they needed to go to the community clinic for a shot or if they were okay to just leave their record. So we built something called Record Check. This is a tool that allows a staff member to log in to the system, query the health department's database, and quickly look up someone's record to see if what the next step is. Do they need to fill out paperwork? Do they need to wait during the summer months? There can be waits of up to 3 or 4 hours. If you wait through that and you find that you didn't need a shot at all, that would be a waste of your time. So we built Record Check. And I just got back from Kansas City where I spent a week doing usability testing with the frontline staff to make sure that this would fit into their workflow. I talked to nurses about what really goes into interpreting a record, and we're excited about this project. It's going to be complex. There's a lot of guidelines. The guidelines change. The CDC comes out with a new recommendation. It'll have to be updated. If the state of Missouri decides they want to pass a law and have new requirements, which they did last year, this year 8th graders have a new requirement coming in, we'll have to reflect that. And of course, it goes without saying that we really need to get this right. We can't have any errors here.